Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana, and we're here today with special guests, Dr. Michael Mandel, Vice President and Chief Economist at Progressive Policy Institute, and Jennifer Granholm, former Energy Secretary and Governor of Michigan. And they're here today to share with us why states must harness the power of AI to power their economies. U.S. companies are investing hundreds of billions of dollars in AI infrastructure, and a new report shows that governors who act quickly can capture the next major engine of economic growth. Joining us today are Dr. Michael Mandel, Vice President and Chief Economist at the Progressive Policy Institute, and former U.S. Energy Secretary and former Governor of Michigan, Jennifer Granholm. They're here to discuss what the AI boom means for America's future and how states can position themselves to benefit. So welcome to the show, Dr. Mandel and Secretary Granholm.
Thank you.
Well, what an honor it is to have the both of you here, and let's just dive right in. Dr. Mandel, can you start by explaining what the current surge of AI investment looks like and how it affects our states?
There's hundreds of billions of dollars going into AI investment at this point, both building data centers and also sort of extending out new forms of AI programs. This has the short-run advantage of generating jobs and not just construction jobs, but software jobs and other types of jobs as well. In the long term, it's going to be transformative for our economy, bringing down costs, creating jobs, and otherwise accelerating productivity in physical industries like manufacturing, agriculture, and construction. This is a new wave into the future.
I know it's such an exciting time, and you've outlined recently in what you call the Governor's AI Innovation Toolbox. So what are the key tools that governors should be using right now?
I identified 5 tools that governors can use. One is tax incentives. The second is worker training. The third is partnerships with universities to accelerate innovation. The fourth is transforming the energy system to sort of not just provide more power for the data centers, but also move forward into the future. And the fifth is state-run extension programs to help small businesses learn how to use AI.
Such important pieces. Now, Secretary Granholm, drawing on your experience as a former governor, what would you tell today's governors about how to get ahead of the AI boom?
I mean, first of all, like in California, I think the governor is preparing a package to be able to be in a place that attracts AI. Right now, those big data centers often are going to other places, but there is a huge opportunity here. A lot of people are afraid, Marianne, that if they get a data center near them, that somehow their power rates are going to go up. And if it's done right, actually, a data center can lower rates. In fact, PG&E, Southern California Edison, they've been trying to get data centers to come because if the data center brings its own power and doesn't just absorb the power from the existing rate base, the existing customers, if the data center agrees to be flexible about when it draws their full power so that it can actually dial back when the grid is really at full throttle, meaning that it's, on those rare days when people are asked to lower their energy use. If the data center agrees to do that as well, and if the data center agrees to pay for the grid upgrades that it would take to connect it, then the data center actually lowers rates. And this comes from a study from Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory and the Brattle Group, that for every large data center, a gigawatt, which is a very big amount, you can lower energy rates by 1% to 2%. So that's very exciting. So you've got the utility rates potentially lowering, and you have the economic development associated with all of this investment. I'm a former governor of Michigan, and in Michigan, we used to recruit big plants, particularly auto plants. But if you compare the auto industry and the data center industry, last year the auto industry spent about $29 billion for all of their plants across the country. The data center world spent hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. And so it's a huge moment. They're going somewhere. And the question is, which states are going to benefit?
Sounds like a big win for those states that are able to bring those companies in.
For sure. For sure it is. Think about it. I mean, you increase your tax base, you increase the amount of money you can spend on your schools, you create forward-looking jobs. In Michigan, we were always worried about our young people leaving and coming to California. But you just want to make sure that those young people and older people too have jobs that look into the future. So not just the construction jobs, of which there are thousands per data center, but the jobs inside the data center. And then, as Dr. Mandel knows, the spread-on effect of having an industry like that, the direct and indirect jobs that are created permanently, is really quite significant.
Well, I know you've touched on part of this, but I want to dive a little bit deeper. So, what can these kind of AI investments mean for really local economies and the people who live and work in these communities?
People care about affordability, they care about jobs, they care about the tax base, and they care about their kids' future. AI touches on all of these. We need to sort of be able to sort of use AI to sort of transform industries that have been slow productivity growth and slow job creation and sort of raising prices. And this is the way we move towards the future. So this is not just a one-time investment. This is really an investment in doing things in a different way that has the possibility for bringing prices down, bringing food prices down, bringing the price of housing down. This is the wave of the future.
So it seems that many states are aggressively competing for data centers and AI hubs right now. So what's the difference in the states that win these contracts versus those that don't?
I think there's two pieces. One is the energy, dealing with the energy piece, which is what Secretary Granholm talked about, and the other is the creating the proper tools to allow data centers to sort of locate in an area and then sort of spin off into sort of AI-related jobs. So it's really holistic. It's not just one thing; it's a package.
Secretary Granholm, many people hear AI investments and automatically think big tech companies. So what does that actually mean?
Well, it is big tech for sure, but it's also little tech, because those little tech companies rely upon AI to be able to succeed. It's, when you think about an economic anchor like a data center, it is really, it could create a whole industrial cluster around the data center. There has to be suppliers for that data center. There has to be folks who serve the ones who are working in construction or working in the data center. In fact, in Virginia, the state itself, which has a lot of data centers, did an analysis of how many jobs are created as a result of the data centers, both directly and indirectly. And it was 74,000 jobs in one state around data centers. So it's jobs, and that's really important on the ground. And, honestly, as to me, it's this notion of being able to catch the future rather than looking in the past. If you can make sure that the data centers abide by these rules that I've laid out in terms of bringing their own power and investing in the infrastructure and being flexible, that data center is just a huge benefit for the region, both economically and from a power perspective.
And let me just add, AI is going to lead to decentralization and the ability of small businesses to sort of use some of the software tools that are only available to big businesses right now. We're going to see a wave of renaissance of small manufacturing companies, small construction companies, small farmers, sort of propelled in part by AI.
So are there tax incentives to have these centers near us?
So this is an important part of the data center movement, okay? Which is that, we have given tax incentives over the years to manufacturing. Manufacturing is is important, but AI is important as well. We're giving the same tax incentives we give to manufacturers, we give to data centers. So this is sort of aligning our tax structure with the future.
California doesn't have the kind of tax incentives that Dr. Mandel is talking about now, but I know that that is one of the things that's being considered.
So, is grid reliability of an area something that needs to be kind of considered in really attracting an AI infrastructure?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, data centers want to make sure that it's reliable. Fortunately, and a lot of the data center companies, the hyperscalers, they have made commitments to their shareholders to operate with clean power. So California's got a leg up in that because it is so far advanced in the ability to bring clean capacity. But again, as I say, the data center is going to want to make sure the grid is reliable. The data center can be an asset to help make that grid reliable, but the data center should also agree to bring its own additional clean power to make it sure that that reliability exists.
It really benefits a community. My goodness.
It really does. I mean, some of these states that have had data centers coming, they can't believe the benefit from just the tax base perspective, how they've been able to fund their local schools better, that they've been able to beef up their local infrastructure more, parks, et cetera. So there's a lot of benefits.
So, Dr. Mandel, how can everyday residents encourage their state leaders to engage with AI and prepare for this shift?
The focus on the future benefits of growth. Sometimes it's tempting to sort of try to protect, what you sort of see as the status quo. But AI is about investment in the future, and as long as you focus on that, you're going to make the right decision.
Yeah, we should be encouraging, and citizens should be encouraging their leaders to support this, not to be, not in my backyard NIMBYism, but really to embrace the future as long as those guardrails exist that will protect citizens.
Sounds like such a great thing to be aware of and to get in touch with our elected leaders on. Where can people go for more information?
So they can go to the Progressive Policy Institute website at www.progressivepolicy.org.
Well, Dr. Mandel and Secretary Granholm, thank you both so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Great. Thank you so much, Marianne.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you both. It's been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about why states must harness the power of AI to power their economies. To learn more, visit progressivepolicy.org. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.